At OPTAVIA, our mission is to offer the world lifelong transformation, one healthy habit at a time. The following audio contains the personal testimonials of independent coaches and clients within the OPTAVIA community. Their results are based on the unique experiences of their journey. We cannot guarantee like or similar outcomes. We hope these stories inspire you to continue your journey with or join OPTAVIA, but please note they have not been verified and your individual journey to optimal health will vary. As always, it is our recommendation that you speak with a healthcare provider in the U.S. or a doctor in Singapore and Hong Kong prior to beginning your journey with OPTAVIA. Additionally, this audio may contain income or earning representations of some independent OPTAVIA coaches. We cannot guarantee financial success. Success with OPTAVIA is derived from successful sales efforts, which require hard work, diligence, skill, persistence, competence, and leadership. OPTAVIA acknowledges that this audio may be accessible to OPTAVIA coaches in the U.S., Hong Kong, and Singapore. For independent OPTAVIA coaches operating in the U.S., please see the OPTAVIA Income Disclosure Statement for statistics on actual earnings of U.S. coaches under the U.S. Compensation Plan. Please note that the Income Disclosure Statement only applies to independent OPTAVIA coaches operating in the U.S. under the U.S. Compensation Plan and does not in any way constitute any representations as to actual or potential accrual of benefits for Hong Kong or Singapore coaches under the International Compensation Plan. Yours in Health, the OPTAVIA team.
All right, welcome to Wednesday night community time. I'm so excited to be here with you guys. We are going to get this show underway. Would love to know more about you as we move through the next 30 minutes. We're really taking time to uncover some things that we're going to talk about. So excited to be with you guys. My name is Jamil Frazier. I'm an independent OPTAVIA coach. And I've been coaching for about 8 years and just want to go through what our agenda is for tonight. We got a power-packed lineup for you tonight. You definitely want to take out a pen and paper because you want to take a lot of notes. Tonight, we're really going to be uncovering some mindset. We're going to be uncovering some skill sets, really help us sharpen our tools and so that we can get into action. So we are going to get this thing kicked off and ready to go. And again, I'm so excited for you. And then after this call, we want to encourage you to stick around because we have some inspiring stories that's going to come to you in the second hour. So Habits of Health community time, as you guys know, August 26, 2020. And I'm excited to be with you. All right, so let's jump into tonight's topic. I know so many of you are excited. I've been having people call me, text message me all day long, probably for the past couple of days of how excited you are to dive into this topic here, which is choices versus cheating. Choices versus cheating. And again, my name is Jamil Frazier. I'm an independent certified OPTAVIA coach. Again, I've been coaching for about 8 years, and I really started on my path with this program because I was looking for better physical health, which many of you are. And I was struggling. I was really trying to find my way. I was the CrossFit king of the world. I ate paleo. Back then, if you didn't do CrossFit, you were you were sort of, I didn't understand you. But even though I was working out a ton, I still wasn't losing the weight. So really came to OPTAVIA looking for weight loss. I wanted to figure out how to get the weight off. I wanted to figure out how to live a healthier lifestyle, being a brand new dad, being in a new marriage. I was tired of yo-yoing, and I was an expert at yo-yo dieting. And so tonight we're going to really dive into this thing that I was plagued with, which is cheating. And what do I do? Is it cheating? Is it choices? Is it all or nothing? So I want to actually have our first poll of the night. And I want you to really just describe what answer describes you best. So as we jump into our first poll, you probably see it that popped up on your screen. So answer this. Which answer describes you best? You are right now a United States independent OPTAVIA coach. Is that you? You're a United States OPTAVIA client. And I just want to welcome every single person that's on live and is watching the playback, listening back to the recordings, to the podcast. Welcome. This is time to celebrate you and your decisions for all of us to move forward and become better. Are you Hong Kong, Singapore independent OPTAVIA coach? Are you Hong Kong, Singapore OPTAVIA client? Or are you a guest? So go on and really tally which describes you best. Are you a US independent coach? Are you a US OPTAVIA client? Hong Kong, Singapore independent OPTAVIA coach? Hong Kong, Singapore OPTAVIA client? Or are you a guest? And would love to have you guys go on and let us know which one describes you best. So part of what makes the program that you're doing or you're checking out, OPTAVIA, so special is Dr. A's Habits of Health Transformational System. And what makes it so special is all of the elements that we get to dive into. So how many of you out there are actually diving into the system? How many of you are utilizing your life book, utilizing Dr. A's app, or you are diving into Dr. A's Habits of Health? And so as you're going to learn as we move through tonight, is much of what makes our program, your program, OPTAVIA, so special is the fact that it isn't a diet. And for many of you guys, that might be the first time you ever heard of this, but so much of it is based off of developing small micro habits that you can do every single day and really changing your mindset. So we're going to dive into that today to really see if we can help each other. So here's our agenda. We really want to move through our mindset training, understanding how the mindset of cheating really fits into the drama triangle. And if you're taking any notes tonight, you definitely want to take down that note of drama triangle. We want to dive into the skill sets, utilize the empowerment triangle, and taking responsibility for making healthy choices. And as we move through tonight, you're going to find out more of what that actually means. And then we want to leave you with some tools. One of the things that I love about this program, and it doesn't just tell you to go eat better and exercise. No. Dr. A's Habits of Health Transformational System gives us the tools so that we can get into action. And so today's action is going to be apply, stop, challenge, and choose to create what you want. And you're going to hear some beautiful stories tonight to really dive into that. So for many of you guys, if you go to page 66 of your Habits of Health second edition, you're going to see this quote. And it says, "You need to be in charge and be given the new pattern of thinking, doing, and relating that allows you to determine your future health and well-being." And that is from Dr. Wayne Scott Anderson. How many of you guys are diving into that material? So what I want to ask you, and you can either answer in your head, you could throw it into the chat, the comments. When it comes down to your mindset, have any of you guys ever said to yourself, I have just cheated, or in the past I've cheated, or I have a big event in the future and I'm planning to cheat? Have you ever said that? So if that's you, because that's certainly been me in the past, we want to encourage you to start thinking about that word a little bit different tonight. We want to encourage you to start to find out where does cheating actually fit in this drama triangle. And for many of you, this might be the very first time you've ever seen this triangle. In fact, is this the first time you've ever seen this triangle? Because where you can find this is in your life book on page 109. But let me explain this drama triangle. Have any of you guys ever had some drama in your life? When I started as a client, I was the king of drama. Drama just always found me. I was that person always saying, why is this happening to me? Which moves us to the first triangle here, which you see is victim. So victims in a triangle usually are saying things, why is this happening to me? Why is this being done to me? It's not fair. Have you ever said that? Many of us are the villain. Have any of you ever found yourself being the villain? You're constantly looking for whose fault it is. And you'll blame anyone. You'll blame yourself. You'll blame them. Or you'll blame anybody and anything. I lived 8 years ago in between the victim and the villain. Why is this happening to me? And why is most of the time it was, why is my wife making my program so hard? Any of you guys ever blame on someone or something. In fact, last night my wife made a whole bunch of cupcakes. And right away I found myself wanting to move to victim. Why is she doing this to me? She knows I'm trying to eat healthier. It's every time I fall off program, it's her fault. Am I the only one? And then many of us find ourselves in a hero. So this is where we have to become Captain Save America, and we have to come save the day. And we do great at enabling other people. And so we want to dive into that. So what I want to encourage you to do is start to ask the questions, well, can you eat? A lot of times when we dive into, I'm cheating, or I had a cheat, or even a cheat day, it's sort of an all or nothing mentality. So what we want to encourage you to do is we want to encourage you to say, well, actually, you can have whatever you want in life. In fact, you have choices. And what we want to get really good at is, what do you want? Write that down. What do I want? And then the next question is, what do I want more? And so hold on to those two questions as we move through. And I want you to sort of hear your story through one of my most favorite people. And she's an incredible independent coach with OPTAVIA, but she's an incredible client as well. So I want to bring on Rachel Richards to really sort of highlight and uncover some of the ways that she's utilized and how she's seen this play out in her life. Rachel, are you there?
I'm here. Thank you so much, Jamil. So, language is so important. And I said that word cheat all the time because I came into this program with a diet mentality. I really did. I didn't recognize it, but this program has awakened me to see that I did have all or nothing thinking. And in speaking about the drama triangle, I want to see if anyone identifies with me tonight in some of these behaviors that we go through when we start our health journey, right? So my health journey was not linear. Big surprise. It was more like a sailboat that was tacking to the other side. And I think one of the biggest things that I realized is most people, when they make a big change, it's not linear. You're going to tack like a sailboat to the other side. You're going to have lessons learned. And in going through the materials of, I love Stop Challenge Choose so much that I had it laminated and spiral bound, and I refer to it all the time because it's a useful tool in driving my health forward. But what I realized is I was in the drama triangle. I would go to the grocery store and I would play games with myself mentally. I would say, well, the kids love these acai chocolate covered whatevers, and I would put them in my cart for the kids, right? And then I would come home and I would try not to eat them. So I just want you to kind of think about that with me. I'm buying my kryptonite and then I'm trying not to eat it. So I'm going in this situation, if we're looking at that chart that Jamil put up, I was the villain putting them in my cart. Then I became the victim when I ate them. And then I needed a hero to save me. Every victim needs a hero. And so my hero would be my trainer, my spin class. Something had to work off that cheat, right? I was messed up. I was mentally not in a good place with food and decisions. And so what I love about Stop Challenge Choose is that now I say things to myself like, I can have anything I want. Like Jamil just said, we can have anything we want. We're adults. But now I'm starting to do a better job through this program and all the tools. I'm not toe dipping anymore. I'm using all the resources, from the app to Stop Challenge Choose to the Life Book to the Wednesday night calls. I mean, what a privilege to be on this call with you guys, because I get on these calls every week and I am so grateful for the speakers. So it's my delight to share anything with you tonight that's useful and to be able to pay that forward. But really what we're talking about here is the ability to stop and say, what was my primary decision? Why did I order my kit? Why did I contact my coach? Oh yeah, I wanted to get healthy. Now, this acai berry thing that I've got in my cart, is it going to be a secondary decision that drives me forward or away from my primary decision? And you guys, I can't do that without some breath work. And Dr. A has really shown me the power of the pause, right? Pause, stop, challenge, choose. Let's just think about that logically. Stop means I need to walk down that aisle and pass those acai berries. And then I need to go through a choice process. Does that food serve my goal? Yes or no? No. You know, right then and there, now I'm getting stronger at saying then it's not going in the cart because it's moving me away from my goal, not closer to my goal. That food doesn't make me bad. Food can't make me bad, but it can make me feel bad. And so language is important. The words you say, that's why I love the journaling in our life book, because I catch myself writing things in there and seeing the language that I'm using. And that is important. Cheating, diet. My brain's not going to help me to diet because it's trying to protect me, right? But if I tell my brain that I'm on a health journey and I'm making decisions that align with my goals, it's going to help me. So I want you to think when you have these decisions, this is a process that I used. When I would take a choice away from my goals, I would say, what happened? And then I would look at it analytically. Then I would say, what was missing? Should I have texted my health coach? Should I have used my client support page? What should I have done? What could I have done? Not should. And then what do I want to have happened and what's next? Guys, we get a new meal choice every 3 hours. We don't get stuck in shame because we're not on a diet. So I hope that's helpful for some of you as you move forward in your health journey.
I love that so much. Thank you so much, Rachel. So let's jump back into this. How was that helpful, you guys? Maybe put 2 or 3 takeaways that you heard from Rachel that really helped. So, you know, what I love is what this program has taught me is that I'm actually in control. In fact, I encourage you to take your hands like this and say, I'm actually in control. And so a big part of the skill set is now understanding the empowerment triangle, which is so awesome because what it does is now you're in the middle there. And when you're in the middle, you're in charge. So that really starts with you being the creator of the things that you want. What do you really desire for your life? And what do you desire more? And what do you desire most? Because now you're in charge of what happens. I'm creating my new story. And then you can become the challenger of your own life in your program, which is I'm open and I'm curious to learn. I have this great desire to grow. And I understand that the obstacles, right? Like my wife who baked the cupcakes last night, that obstacle is actually there to help me get better. And so now I'm not running away from it. I'm certainly not blaming, but now I'm taking ownership. And now how I can complete the empowerment triangle is I actually become a coach. I actually go and help other people in their journeys and in their life, and I encourage them and I empower them to be successful. How cool is that? And so that is what OPTAVIA has really been teaching me. And one cool thing is basically, you know, really once you're in charge and once you find out what you really, really want, now you can work within structure. And what structure does is allows you to start taking the proper action steps so that you can move to that creative space that we all have and that we want for our optimal health. So we start with our secondary choices. These are the actions, the things that we do every single day that's going to get us closer to where we want to go. And then that moves us to our primary choices, our foundational macro habits that Dr. A talks so uniquely about in Lifebook. I mean, straight off from the beginning, really starts to teach us about the macro habits. And then that leads us to our fundamental choices. What are the things that matter most to us in our life and our optimal health? How cool. So let's talk about the action. So Rachel referenced Stop, Challenge, and Choose. This one tool has saved my life, and not just in my own health, but in my marriage and in the way that I do deal just with everyday occurrences. So this is how it works. You are here at the top where you see presence, right? This is your current reality. Something is going to happen. You know, your wife is going to bring home, your husband's going to bring home In and Out. It's going to smell so good. That is called a happening. Now, this is where we become the dominant force of our own lives. We're going to stop and we're going to access and really think about what our options are. Okay, so that happened. Now, let me stop and just assess what happened. Then we're going to challenge. Is this going to be something? Is this next choice that I'm going to make going to fall in line with what I really, really, really want? Which hopefully for us is optimal health. and then we're going to choose. And so as we stop, challenge, and choose, it allows us to shift a lot faster. And if we don't, and we move into that triangle, that drama triangle, then it's going to take much, much longer. Does this make sense? So I want to actually take you to poll number 2. And poll number 2 is going to ask you, how often do you practice stop, challenge, and choose, you guys? Is it every day and it becomes a habit? Is it only when struggling with major decisions? Is it not as often as you would like? Or you don't practice stop, challenge, and choose yet? And I want to really hone in on the yet. Which one is it for you guys? So while you are answering that, I actually want to move to our next presenter, who's just an incredible human being, incredible woman, another independent OPTAVIA coach, but has also started in the same place that you're at as a client. And I want to introduce you guys to Anica Relaford to really expand on the trauma and triangle, stop, challenge, and choose, and how it's really played out in her life. So Anica, my friend, are you there?
I am. Thank you so much, Jamil. Good evening, everybody. I'm so glad that you are tuning in tonight. I'm hoping that what I share with you tonight gives you a little bit of hope and lets you know that you're not alone. You know, for 35 years, I have had this hardwired habit of food being my sugar daddy, as I label it. Honestly, emotions ran high in my family, guys, and food was the center of everything. Whether it was good events or bad events or even boredom, food was the cure for everything. Now, that was fine when I was young and I had healthier habits of motion and sleep. But the older I got and the more responsibilities that I had, the less time I had. And honestly, I was working really long days in the medical field. And now I was married, I had a kid, and it felt like the scales of life were just really unbalanced. With less time and more stress and more responsibilities and emotions, it started to be overbearing to me. And my old familial belief systems and habits of using food to like satisfy my emotions started to kick into overdrive. So I found myself visiting McDonald's and Dairy Queen at lunch when I had like a bad day at work and I was stressed out. And I was using it to give myself some like reprieve. I had these conversations in my head saying, Anica, you deserve it. You've had a rough day. It was like my auntie in my head. Eat the mange. It'll make you feel better. Like I could hear her. And the guilt that I started to experience was really insurmountable. I found myself hiding like the empty bags in the outside trash, under the trash bags. So like my husband wouldn't see it. It wasn't until I realized that every time I ate or drank my feelings, that it ran over into my relationship with my husband and my son and my relationships. I didn't want to face what was truly going on, guys. See, when I ate bad, I started to feel bad. And when I felt bad, it ran into everything that I did. I chose poor words. I didn't handle stress well. And the cycle just kept on repeating and getting worse, just like the drama cycle. And at 35 years old, I had finally come to the conclusion that I had a food addiction and I had no idea how to fix it. But it wasn't until I really started this program and I really understood what the root cause of what my dis-ease was all about that things started to change. I was so busy letting the days run me and not me running my days and making conscious decisions on what I truly wanted to actively think about what I was doing. Things got out of control. And I was living in this reactionary state and I was just trying to keep my head above water. And it wasn't until I started OPTAVIA and really, guys, be honest with you, getting into Element 4 of the Life Book, just like Jamil was saying, that I started to realize that I had a choice and a voice. See, I wasn't using food as my sugar daddy anymore. I was feeling like I was cheating myself all the time, though, when I was doing that because I resonated in that drama. But when I really realized that I had control over my emotions and that I could stop myself in these moments, take a deep breath, challenge my thoughts and what I really wanted for that primary choice, and choose an outcome that was in alignment for what I wanted, was only then that I started to shift out of drama and emotions and get the results that I really wanted. So instead of think that life was happening to me all the time and being a victim, or because something happened and chose to think that it was somebody else's fault, I started to be empowered and realized that my emotions like really didn't run me. That I had the ability to get out of the drama and make a choice that was in alignment for what I happened. And no longer was I going to go to Dairy Queen every evening and eat my feelings from a stressed out day, but in fact, fuel my body so well that it could keep up with the demands that I was being given. Start to recognize how to fuel my body better and do everything in alignment for me. And now when hard things happen to me, I smile and I realize that these obstacles are put there in front of me to actually help me get better and learn how to make better choices. And I'm in charge of what I put in my mouth. And when I do that, I'm empowered to make better changes in everything I do. So for 15 years, I've tried to make this shift on my own. And now I feel confident that after 3.5 years into my own journey, I have the tools and the community to help me succeed. And I'm hoping that you feel like today that you do too.
Oh my goodness, Anica, thank you so much. You know what I love about this is so many, I'm just watching the comments. And some of the things that I wrote down from the comments are, let me see if I can get this on here. I wrote down Little Caesars wasn't, somebody put Little Caesars wasn't making me little so much anymore. Oh, that was kind of cool. Relatable was something that so many of you guys said so much. And I didn't realize how much I needed this. So, you know, this is where it's at. All of us have struggled. All of us have blamed. All of us have been in that triangle. And that's why I love what we have. So before I jump back into the presentation, I want to bring up poll number 2, which basically asks you guys, how many of you were utilizing Stop, Challenge, and Choose? And so here are the results. We see 27% every day it's a habit, 17% only when struggling with major decisions, 38% not as often as I would like, and 19% I don't practice Stop, Challenge, and Choose yet. But after tonight, I'm sure that you will, because you can see how important it is for our overall mental health and well-being. So before we close up tonight and as we start to wind down, I want to ask another question. Here's another poll. You know, we love our polls around here. Is how did you enjoy tonight's community time? And be open and honest. We're not going to share this with anyone or come knock on your door. But how did you enjoy tonight? Was it excellent? Was it very good? Was it good? Was it below average? Or was I just terrible? Was it poor? So how'd you guys enjoy tonight? Go on and answer that. I got to tell you, what I have loved is I love the vulnerability of our speakers. I think what's so important about calls like this is that we all understand that we're more alike than we are different. And many of us have had struggles, but that's what I love about this program is it's more than just what you eat. It's so much about what you think as well. So that's why I love the topic tonight. So before we wrap up, I want to remind you there are many, many, many resources for you. Of course, we have the OPTAVIA YouTube channel. How many of you guys are part of that channel already? If you're not, then please go subscribe, press the subscribe button. So every time we upload one of these calls, one of these trainings, then you get a notification and you can go back and reference it. I send myself here and so many clients to this site. It's not even funny. Then, of course, we have podcasts. So many people, we're in a podcast era now. So many people are driving, or when you're taking a shower or washing dishes or doing laundry or, you know, not paying attention at your day job, that you can go on and put on the podcast and listen to all of these replays. You can literally go and find the topics that make sense for you. So me, I'm a big stress and emotional eater. So when I go to the podcast, what do you think I'm looking for? I'm looking for resources that's going to teach me how to have a healthy mind. And we want to encourage you to go on and opt into the OPTAVIA text reminders as well. So you can text OPTAVIA 30 to 99000 and make sure that you are being kept abreast of all of the cool things that are happening. And so we are coming to an end here, but I do want to remind you to join us next week, because next week it's going to be incredible. We have more community time. The topic is going to be Your Life Book, Element 18. Exercise is your gift to yourself, hosted by Casey and Candy Mitchell. You don't want to miss it. I have known these guys for about 7 or 8 years now. They are incredible resources. And right after this call, I want to encourage you to stay on the line, because we are not done. We're actually going to be moving into basically the second part of our night, which is inspiring stories of transformation, and you don't want to miss it. So thank you all for being on tonight. I hope that it brought you great value. I want to thank and appreciate our presenters, Rachel Richards and Anica Relaford. And I want to encourage you guys to practice Stop, Challenge, and Choose this week. We love you guys, and we will see you in a few minutes, or we'll see you next week. Have a beautiful, beautiful night.
At OPTAVIA, our mission is to offer the world lifelong transformation, one healthy habit at a time. The prior audio contained the personal testimonials of independent coaches and clients within the OPTAVIA community. Their results are based on the unique experiences of their journey. We cannot guarantee like or similar outcomes. We hope those stories inspire you to continue your journey with or to consider joining OPTAVIA. But please note that they have not been verified, and your individual journey to optimal health will vary. As always, it is our recommendation that you speak with a healthcare provider in the U.S. or a doctor in Singapore and Hong Kong prior to beginning your journey with OPTAVIA. Additionally, this audio may have contained income or earning representations of some independent OPTAVIA coaches. We cannot guarantee financial success. Success with OPTAVIA is derived from successful sales efforts, which require hard work, diligence, skill, persistence, competence, and leadership. OPTAVIA acknowledges that this audio may be accessible to OPTAVIA coaches in the U.S., Hong Kong, and Singapore. For independent OPTAVIA coaches operating in the U.S., please see the OPTAVIA Income Disclosure Statement for statistics on actual earnings of U.S. coaches under the U.S. Compensation Plan. Please note that the Income Disclosure Statement only applies to independent OPTAVIA coaches operating in the U.S. under the U.S. Compensation Plan and does not in any way constitute any representations as to actual or potential accrual of benefits for Hong Kong or Singapore coaches under the International Compensation Plan. Yours in health, the OPTAVIA team.